sit next to someone that you know don't sit next to.
Oh, yeah.
2 minutes, guys.
Praise God. So I see some people that move far, but I pray that you still get your message today. Amen.
Amen.
So as I just did, I know everyone is basically out of their comfort zone. I know some people move from where they regularly sit on Sundays, because I know the fire usually sits in the front, but right now, I don't know, most of you may be feeling uneasy. Like, some people didn't want to move because they knew that they would feel uneasy, and we just said she won't pay attention, so. Okay. So, when you're in your comfort zone, everything is going good, and you feel like that comfort zone is a box. Everything is going good for you, and you get most comfortable in your comfort zone. But what most of you may not know is what lies outside of your comfort zone is greatness. We often put ourselves in a box, and we have our job. You're in the middle of the box, so put yourself in the box. And you're in the middle, and in each corner, maybe your job, the people that you most are comfortable with, the activities you're most comfortable with, and miscellaneous. And we choose not to go outside that box. We choose to go to this corner to the people that we most know. We choose to stay in this job because I'm most comfortable. I don't want to move out of this job because I'm getting good money. Or we choose to continue to do the same activities that we do day in and day out because that's what we're most comfortable with. But little do we know that in order for us to receive greatness, we have to push outside those corners. You have to leave those people that you're most comfortable with to receive greatness. You have to leave that job. You don't know what lies outside that job. It can be a greater promotion, but you refuse to see it because you're most comfortable there. Amen?
Amen.
And greatness doesn't come without just being comfortable. We have to strive for it. We have to go out and get it. You can't get greatness sitting in the same spot day in and day out. Amen?
Amen.
As Brother Cooney preached last week in Philippians 3:12, we have to continue to press on. We can't just stay where we're at. We have to continue to press on and receive the goodness of the Lord.
Amen.
So I'm going to use myself as an example. In order for us to get out of our fleshly comfort zone, we must push ourselves out of our spiritual comfort zone. But what I'm saying is, when things are going good for us, when things are going bad, that's when we see people most reverent and pray. They're on their knees all the time. When something's going bad for you, like this, I need this from God, I need this from God, and that's when you're most close with God. But when things are going good, we tend to say, all right, He's doing good for me, so I'm not going to do as much as I usually do if something's going bad for me. And that's where we stay in our comfort zone. That's what we need to get out. I'm going to use me as an example. I'm not in my comfort zone right now. This is not what I felt like He had called me to do, but this is also a sermon that has been in the works for about a year. I think about 2 years ago, he came to me and said, I want you to preach. And I'm like, no, I'm not preaching. How about I do Bible study first? I'm compromising with God. I said, how about I do Bible study first, and then we can work our way up to me preaching. And that's not, we're not supposed to compromise. We're supposed to, when He calls us to do something, He's going to keep tugging at you until you do it. Amen?
Amen.
So, I'm not sure, many people, we have many things that we ask our bishops to do, and I feel like none of us, we never really go out of your comfort zone. You always feel like, I'm not qualified for this, or I won't be good at this, but you won't know until you step out of your box. Amen?
Amen.
So right now, I want us to go into the Word. Amen. The scripture reading for today was Genesis 12, verse 1 through 9. Can you all?
So Abram departed as the Lord had spoken to him,
and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. Then Abram took Sarai, his wife, and Lot, his brother's son, and all their possessions that they had gathered, and the people whom they had acquired in Haran. And they departed to go to the land of Canaan. So they came to the land of Canaan. Abram passed through the land to the place of Shechem, as far as the terebinth tree of Moreh. And the Canaanites were then in the land. Then the Lord appeared to Abram and said, to your descendants I will give this land. And there he built an altar to the Lord, who had appeared to him. And he moved from there to the mountain east of Bethel. And he pitched his tent with Bethel on the west and Ai on east. There he built an altar to the Lord and called on the name of the Lord. So Abram journeyed, going on still toward the south. Set to 12. Now there was a famine in the land, and Abram, you said 9, right? Okay. May the Lord bless the reading.
So, the background to this is, despite God's judgment of sin of the people, they continued to sin and ignore him. But there was a handful that actually wanted to follow him, and that handful included Abraham. And he lived amongst pagans, sinners, people that were far from God, godless people. But God came to him and said, in verse 1, he said, go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. So he came to Abraham to take him out of his comfort zone. If God was to come to you and tell you to leave everything that you know and to go to an unknown place, I think most of us will second guess it, like, I'm not sure I want to do this. But Abraham did it as he was told to an extent. So he took everything that, instead of saying, God said to leave all your father's household. So in verse 4, I don't want to go to that up. Somebody else read this. 4.
So Abram left as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him.
Abram was 75 years old when he set out from Haran.
So, hello? So, Abraham did what God had told him to do. Whether or not he did it because he wanted to fully follow God's instructions or he wanted to do it because of the promises, he still did as God told him. But what he didn't do, God told him to leave all of his people, your father's household, and go to the land I showed you. But he didn't leave everyone. He took Lot, and he also took all the people that he had acquired while he was still in Ur. While he was still in Ur. So we can't sit here and say, I want to go out of my comfort zone, but I'm still going to bring the same people that the Lord asked me to leave behind. I'm going to still bring Lot, even though he realized that after time, Lot caused trouble upon him. You can't bring those people with you if they're gonna cause trouble. And I know we all have this great Catholic song, No New Friends. Yes, no new friends. And in the song it says, story stays the same through your money and your faith. Your story should not want to stay the same. And if you have new friends, the new friends should be bringing, if you have old friends that are not taking you where you need to go, you should bring people to our old friends and gain new friends. Amen?
Amen.
Who wants, like, I know I don't want my story to stay the same. And every time that song comes on, I laugh at it because I'm like, I want new friends. It's called networking, people. You know, those that are in college, it's called networking. Those new friends will take you higher. Amen?
Amen.
So he took Lot with him, and then Lot caused problems. So Lot left to Sodom, and we all know what happened to Sodom. So Lot left where they originally were, went to Abraham, and then because it was commonly called between Abraham and Lot, he now went to Sodom. So Lot went from bad to worse. We all know what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah. Amen? Amen. So, in verse, but that wasn't only Abraham's mistake. If somebody could also get up and read verse 10 through 13.
the written seal, God said, this is the wife that they will kill you, but will let you live. Say, brothers and sisters, I will decree the war for your sake, and my life will be spared in the field.
Amen. So, not only did he leave his homeland, but now God asked directed him to go to Egypt where there was a famine. I guess in my perspective, I'll see it as you told me to get out of my household, my thing, what I've known, and now you're taking me to a place where there's a famine, where there's no food. Like, what are you really doing? But he didn't, that was the test of Abraham's faith, and he actually passed that test. He didn't question God's faith. Where he fell was when he told his wife, Sarai, when they asked you if you're my wife, say that you're my sister. So he passed the test of him actually going to Egypt, but he asked her to lie because he felt, I think that's when he started to feel like, I don't know if God will protect me there. He started to second guess God's protection instead of having complete ultimate faith. Amen? So what I'm saying is when it's time for you to start working for God and when you're determined to follow God, you're going to run into many obstacles, many barriers, many people trying to hold you back. But you can't second guess what God is doing. You're supposed to have faith. What he did was, he allowed fear to let her tell a lie and to lie that Sarai wasn't his wife. He lost faith in God's protection and lied, and when he did, he also gave problems. So when you realize, you have to remember, when you step out of your comfort zone, the will of God will take you where the grace of God will protect you. Amen? And getting out of your comfort zone requires to have ultimate faith. Abraham had faith beyond, like, you got faith to leave. So you always, when you want to leave out your comfort zone, you have to have faith. You have to look beyond the obstacles and the obvious. You may see things that may be in your way, but you're supposed to look beyond that. God is going to protect you regardless. Amen?
Amen.
It takes looking beyond the darkness to the light. When you look through the darkness that surrounds the light, when you look through the darkness that surrounds the light, you see that God was there the whole time. He's never leaving us. He's never leaving us. He's never forsaken us. Amen? And one thing I would like to say, He didn't call us to be comfortable. He called us to be content. And in Philippians 4:11, if somebody could run.
I am not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances.
I am not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances.
Amen. There's a difference between being comfortable and being content. Content means that whatever may come your way, you never question God. Comfortable is you don't plan on leaving, you don't plan on looking for greatness, you don't plan on looking beyond what you see in front of you. Amen? And right now, people, it's time to get out of our comfort zone. We need to realize that God's calling doesn't always put us in a comfortable position. He may be calling you to do something much more than what you're doing now, but you feel like I'm not going to be comfortable, so I don't want to do it. I'm going to step against it. I'm going to compromise with Him. I'm going to negotiate with God when and how I'm going to follow His calling. Amen. And it doesn't make everything rosy. Everything won't be rosy at first, and everything won't be perfect. But and it doesn't always make sense, but it always makes us better. Even our comfort zone will always make us better in the long run. Amen? Amen. So, I will leave you with this. I'd rather be uncomfortable and saved than to be comfortable and lost. Amen? Amen.